Oh, applause at the beginning. That's cool. It's not what you get every day. Yeah, welcome to my session today. This afternoon, I've held the same presentation earlier on the enterprise AI stage. AI success marathon, not a sprint. You may have heard that saying before in other contexts, but I think it makes sense here. I'm Matthias Herkommer. I'm the Presales director at Qlik. I'm based right here out of Munich, so I haven't traveled that far, and I've been with Qlik for almost 18 years now. And of course, in my role, I've spoken to many customers and partners in the region, but also around the world. And obviously, these conversations in the last 2 years or so have been dominated by AI. No surprise there. And if we're looking at what's happening now, is that I think we're finally moving beyond the hype, right? I hope so, and I think we really need to. I can't tell you how many top-down AI initiatives I've seen, at customers or partners that ultimately failed. And I think that's because we really think, at the beginning at least, we think that AI is the answer to everything. And we're really bad at asking ourselves when it's not, when it's not the right tool. So the reality is that now we're starting to collectively ask the right questions, how to get real business value from AI and how to do it in an ethical and safe way. At least most of us have that in mind, right? Okay, I see the timer is at 12 minutes already. This is counting down, perfect. But the reality is that it's still quite early days for organizations, right? And this slide speaks for itself, right? For example, in the study we've commissioned last year, only 25% of the participating organizations had a formalized AI strategy, meaning 75% didn't have that, imagine. So if you're one of those workers or employees wondering how you can contribute to an AI strategy, or if your company maybe is concerned about not having quite figured it out yet, don't worry, you're not alone. However, you cannot wait either. So this will be transformative, right? It will be transformative in ways that we haven't even imagined yet. I think this is, more than just the introduction of the internet in the late 90s. And for us at Qlik, to help us understand the landscape around AI, we formed our own AI council, sitting at our own AI governance structure at the board level, comprising experts that are globally known, that sit in the AI council and guide our way in terms of planning and running for the future. And this actually has led to the fact that our CEO, Mike Capone, has spoken to the White House around AI strategy, in parentheses, before the current presidency, I believe. So in terms of the imperative that, you cannot wait, our AI council member, Nina Schick, a very impressive lady, I have to say, she says we can be good at AI or we can be bad at business. And I think she's absolutely right with that. But the path is often unclear, right? And it's risky. And we know, everyone understands that mistakes you do now can have a negative impact on business performance now. And on top of that, there are increasingly new AI regulations. The EU AI Act is one example, which can even lead to fines, to penalties for misuse. So you'd be forgiven to say, that's way too hard, way too expensive, and just walk away, right? Many may be considering that. But my advice really is don't do that. And we have to be clear that to be good at AI, you have to run the marathon, or the long game in English. And I've seen, or we've seen some of our customers and partners take, kind of 3 best practices that we want to look at to become successful at AI, or to set themselves up for success at least. Yeah, no one is at the end of the journey yet. And these 3 are: diversify your path, walk before you run, and don't skip steps, right? And now let's look at each of these in turn. and see what's behind that. Diversify your path means in a nutshell that don't put all your AI eggs in one basket, right? Mixing it up reduces the risk of failure. That means run your first experiments in more than one business function, for more than one use case, leveraging more than just one AI model. And whether it's self-deployed, self-developed, or off-the-shelf software. So this should be a good mix. This strategy allows for tailored solutions where necessary, by also leveraging the speed and cost efficiency of pre-built AI technologies. And one key there is also to avoid the use case trap. So for example, instead of applying Gen AI only to one isolated instance, try to find patterns. I think something that we just saw in the previous presentation was a good example, but diversify it. That means Gen AI, for example, is very, very good at deriving insights and real value from unstructured data like text, right? And that can help every knowledge worker right now to become more effective and run or do better business decisions. And that's something very easy to implement. In fact, Qlik has a product that I'll talk to on my last slide that can literally turn your unstructured business data into a knowledgeable answers assistant within minutes without any, having to write any line of code. But diversify your path also means that it's not all about generative AI. In fact, despite the hype, of course, but this whole trend, hype, whatever you call it, and the investment around generative AI has indeed also helped organizations to focus more on their traditional AI use cases. This is advanced predictive analytics and machine learning, right? The more traditional models. So developing and deploying these more traditional models has increasingly become easier and quicker in the last few years, along with the generative AI use cases. And your AI strategies should certainly be a good mix of the both, right? You see here the percentage that we found in one of the studies, and it was an ISG study in this case. It's around 50-50, right? So it is worth looking at the other side as well. It's not only around ChatGPT and the likes. And as with all things in IT, it's not only about technology, right? The human factor is just as crucial. So AI upskilling, talent acquisition, finding different types of people with different skills, AI experts just as well as people who know how to use the AI tools and know how to explain them to others should be key to your overall AI strategy. And there's a study by Deloitte that actually says that finding a good mix of both technical and human-centered skills will become more and more valuable as the organizations progress in their AI journey. And maybe just to do a comparison, just like data literacy has been key and still is in the business intelligence world, here being at the business intelligence stage, and Qlik has been a pioneer in this as well. So too, we believe that AI literacy will become more and more relevant for organizations as they drive their AI strategy and turning it into reality. The second best practice is walk before you run, and this is all about getting your data ready for AI, right? The good old wisdom in IT, even 30 years ago, that wasn't any different. Garbage in, garbage out still holds true when it comes to AI projects, maybe even more so than ever. And so this is basically about the data foundation, right? Getting a trustworthy foundation for AI project, whether that's more in the direction of machine learning or more in the direction of generative AI. And we at Qlik, we're cutting through that hype in the sense that we say just do AI is enough. The real power lies in the data mastery, and the term garbage in, garbage out basically says that AI isn't a magic wand, right? It doesn't away with these needs. Quality, organization of your data are still crucial. And over the past years, Qlik has been telling CEOs and governments that any successful AI implementation starts with solid data and analytics foundation. So data quality dictates AI efficacy, and the right analytics in turn will take it home through to real value, right? To real business value. So that is our approach. And to underline that with a little more details, we have published a white paper around these 6 principles around AI-ready data. It's around diversity in data, obviously to avoid bias in a large language model, for example. Making data consumable, discoverable, that's around the cataloging portion. Timely, accurate, and secure. And if you are interested in learning more about this, then go to qlik.com and you can download and you'll find the white paper there. Walk before you run also encompasses that you should take advantage of existing systems that you already have. Enterprise applications, just like those provided by Qlik, most of them already include some AI and machine learning capabilities. So while these capabilities already help users nowadays to make their life easier, to adopt AI quicker, to learn, and to become more efficient now. And this could be just as important and relevant to your overall AI strategy than deploying this next big, heavy, large language model. But in turn, it could be a lot faster to get value out of it for a lot less money at the beginning. So this would be my recommendation. Look at what your systems already have, like natural language interaction, predictive analytics, automated content generation, and make use of that, promote that internally to get these quick, low-hanging fruits out of your existing AI capabilities that you already have. And the third aspect in that best practice is to think about the type of AI model you want to deploy, especially in the large language world. So there's a growing trend to move away from these foundational large language models that the big ones in the AI world operate and run for a lot of money, towards more targeted models where it's easier to actually find the training data for, they'd be easier to identify, to find the right model, and easier and quicker to prove value in general. So this also leads to the buy versus build model. It's easier to find smaller models that are already pre-built for you for certain use cases, and it benefits from a data product strategy that Qlik has also adopted in the recent years. The third best practice is to establish a responsible AI framework. So you cannot skip steps, which what I mean by that is that you will increasingly become part of an AI supply chain, right? Linked with your own internal organization, your customers, your suppliers, your tech alliance partners, and you will become, you have to see as one joint thing. So for this purpose and for your own internal governance and compliance processes, make sure that you have your AI policy documented and published along with your existing AI governance processes, and of course your data privacy and governance policies in general to ensure that vendors align with those as well. So that, by the way, is why Qlik has published their AI policy around how we use AI ethically and securely internally, and how to develop our practice, how we develop AI capabilities into our products. So go there if you're interested and look how Qlik has formulated its own AI strategy or policy. And the last question maybe to the audience, who of you or in your organizations have created an AI policy around unstructured data or strategy? Okay. Quite a few. The last audience didn't raise a hand at all. So this is another key, to not simply think about your structured data, the kind of data that you built your reporting on and your business intelligence in the past, but think of this vast amount of unstructured data. 80%, according to estimations, are lying around. Maybe it's unused or scarcely accessed by the users. It's very easy to put this into a knowledge base and combine it with a large language model and derive value from that right away. And Qlik has a solution to that since last year. It's called Qlik Answers. I mentioned it before quickly. It allows you to really easily, within minutes, for example, dump 5,000 PDF files, like your existing customer contracts, into a knowledge base and have a large language model answer questions about it without users having to scroll and search in these documents, but really simply, just like ChatGPT, get the right answers to the right question without hallucinations. And the last aspect of this best practice, don't skip steps, is that you really need to look at all the elements in your AI ecosystem. That can yield opportunities, foster innovation, and reduce risk right now and in the future, of course. I think this is important not just for the reasons I've mentioned before, but the overall openness of an AI strategy will become just as important as, for example, in the area of cloud decisions, of you going into the cloud strategy. A cloud vendor lock-in bears risk, and on the data integration and data management side, the trend towards open table formats like Iceberg, for example, maybe you've heard of that, is also something many organizations believe is valuable and worth pursuing. And so just as you can save cost and compute and optimize that, so too we believe an open AI strategy provides long-term flexibility and choice. So these are the three best practices and supporting initiatives to help you play the long game when it comes to AI, and to turn AI into reality in your organization that creates proven value for your organizations. So maybe you're wondering, what has Qlik done in the last years in terms of playing the long game? And in fact, we've had a long 6-year-long successful track record of AI innovations that we delivered into our products, mainly on the analytics side so far. So long before ChatGPT came into everyone's awareness, we've already had generative AI functions in our analytics products. We have a diverse AI portfolio covering many different use cases. We formed an AI council comprising of globally known experts, and we have our AI policy and governance program published for everyone to read about and every employee to be aware of. Plus, we are striving to increase the AI literacy of our own employees, just as some examples around it. But next big question is, how can we help you as a potential customer or partner? So of course, we can help you build a trusted data foundation for your AI projects. An end-to-end data pipeline if needed, with the right data quality and trust to make the data ready for AI projects. Then, of course, we can run AI-powered analytics on top of that if you want, and you can train and deploy your own AI or machine learning models right in our Qlik platform. At a high-level view, it looks like this. This is very helicopter view of our product portfolio. So it's the full breadth of data management, analytics, and automation with AI, of course, from ingestion to data preparation, transformation, quality, governance, and automations. And if you have a little closer look or a little more detailed look, it can also look like this. There it's a better distinction between the left side, the data integration, quality, data cataloging side, versus the analytics, AI, machine learning side of the portfolio. All of this is sitting in the very same Qlik Cloud platform. Most of these functionalities, however, are fully supported on-premise as well. So this sets us apart from many of the competitors you may have seen. We have full support for data movement as an on-premise solution as well, with nearly the same feature set, the main functionalities. It's mainly around applying change data capture to get data very efficiently out of various different source systems, ERP systems, databases, even legacy mainframes, files, and so on, and stream it in real time into a target platform. For example, like a Snowflake data warehouse, a Databricks data lakehouse, Google BigQuery, AWS Redshift database, and so on and so forth. If you want, in an Iceberg open table format. Before I go on explaining this slide, let's have a quick look in the last few minutes on the actual products behind these stepstones. So where I just started moving and transforming data, this is what we call Qlik Talent Cloud as a product, if you're interested. This is about applying the change data capture technology, putting data into the target data platform, whether it's in the cloud or on-premise, doesn't matter, and then doing these transformations to get the data business and AI ready, right? In a no-code environment, very intuitive for even the, well, less trained business users. So you don't always have to be a full-blown data engineer to do this and to set it up, right? And then this is combined with Talent. This is why it's called Talent Cloud. We've acquired the company Talent 2 years ago. Combining this with the data quality, governance, data management, and cataloging functionalities of Talent, this is where it really comes together in this one combined product. Plus, the latest addition is to, right here, to support large language use cases directly. That is, turn structured data into a data format that is ready for a large language RAG use case, retrieval augmented generation, to build your own customized chatbot on your own private company data if needed. Qlik Cloud Analytics is well, the most established product in that sense that Qlik has been on the market for 30 years. It is still the only analytics product with a dedicated analytics engine. So most other solutions you may know resort to SQL queries to query databases when the user accesses an analytics dashboard, for example. At Qlik, we have a pure analytics engine handling the data without stress or dependency on the data sources at that point. We deliver smart alerts, or we can integrate with third-party data science products as well. Qlik AutoML, that's the machine learning piece, and it's an automated thing. I call it democratizing machine learning. So taking the pain and the load and maybe also the bottleneck of a data science team and opening it up for the businesses to allow even untrained business users, if they want to train and run their machine learning models and then deploy them with a click of a button. Admittedly, this is not for the most complex use cases, but it works for kind of the everyday use cases that maybe your data science team is too busy to take care of. This is where we're positioning AutoML. It trains several models at the same time and immediately shows you, for example, the biggest impact factors on the predictions, and it shows you the quality of the model so you can pick the right one to deploy. And my last slide, Qlik Answers, just to top it off with that, our latest or newest Qlik to the block. It is what we launched last year, this turnkey plug-and-play large language generative AI solution that allows you, to really put your existing internal, whatever, PowerPoint slides, PDF files, HTML websites into one or several knowledge bases, and with a click of a button, put an answers chatbot on top of that, integrate it into your internet website, and have your employees ask questions about your own product descriptions, your own customer contracts, your own supplier conditions, in insurance, for example, the actual conditions that customers have in their products to get quicker answers faster and become more efficient. This is our offering when it comes to Gen AI and unstructured data. In the future, we will combine this with structured data as well to even gain more incremental value from this. And yeah, this concludes my presentation right on time. Maybe we have time for 1 or 2 questions, but thanks for your attention. And if you're interested, we have a stand in the exhibition hall. Thank you.
Yeah, Alexander.
Thank you very much for presentation. It's pretty cool, strategy you have there. The claim you made, right? So you have answers solution.
Yep.
And you say that you don't have hallucinations there.
Yeah, we avoid them.
How do you do it?
With every prompt that the user types in, we sort of send a system prompt alongside with it that the model can only give answers based on the data we provide in the knowledge bases. So basically, you won't get any answers from the chatbot around the world knowledge, nothing at all. If you ask them whatever, which cities are north of Munich, it won't give you any answers, but only what you provide inside these knowledge bases.
Would you put it in the SLA for the service? So that basically, for example...
Yeah, well, yeah, probably talk to our legal department, but essentially it is what it is. I haven't seen any hallucination from Qlik answers yet. Mm-hmm. So whenever it doesn't know the answer, it says, I can't answer that. It's not in my knowledge base.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Maybe something that brings me to something I haven't mentioned, you will also get, with every answer, you get the reference to the original document, right? So if you have thousands of files or documents in your knowledge base, you will get the specific part where the answer is derived from. Yeah.
Yes, I think you were the second person raising a hand.
You mentioned data streaming, and I know that in the last years in the data streaming community, shift-left architecture was getting more and more importance. How do you think that this type of shift-left architecture will improve on the availability and usability of, for example, your product within the usage of AI and AI use cases, and also how will it, if it does, fuel the speed on how we can produce use cases.
So first of all, there's AI assistance inside our data integration solutions and tools. So for example, the typical one, you type in a prompt, convert, retrieve, customers and their suppliers from the database, and it creates the SQL code for that to get the right, the right tables from the underlying sources. And then, so this kind of text to SQL assistant is built into it to make these building of data pipelines quicker. Then you create a sort of kind of vector-based ready data. That's one AI-ready artifact in our data pipeline to make it ready for an AI RAG use case that you build yourself. And in the long run, we're working on things like to use, prompt to data pipeline solutions where we really say, hey, build me a data pipeline for my customer data, master data, and send it to my Snowflake data warehouse. So you don't even have to drag and drop, data transformation blocks in the pipeline anymore, but to have a large language model do that for you. And we've already used it really to translate back and forth between different source systems as well, like from SAP ABAP code to Snowflake SQL works like a charm, as one example, right? Is that what you were thinking about, or? Kind of, yeah.
It was an interesting, different twist.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. The answer was
okay, but you mentioned a specific architect. Shift left. Yeah, okay. Shift push down to source, basically. That is right. No.
That's something different.
Okay. Well, let's have the conversation. I've heard about shift left, but I'm not aware of the details anymore. Yeah. Okay. I think if there are more questions, just come to our stand. Thank you. Just to
2 minutes. So
2 minutes left. Okay. Even better.
Some additional questions? Yeah, please come forward to the.
I think you named it already. I'm also interested in understanding, is it already possible for the end user of your application to create new data or manipulate existing one? So as an example, if I have the data and I ask the LLM or your application to create a new classification for me, and then to ask and say, please use this new classification in a dashboard I would like to see.
Absolutely, it's already possible. So in another good example, in the data pipeline, in the transformation piece, in the ETL piece, maybe at a high level, many of you may be familiar, the main paradigms ELT and ETL. Qlik can do both. Our prime offer is start with ELT, and then do ETL bit kind of transformations in the target platform. But you can also turn it around. And inside these ETL or ELT transformation blocks, you can you can employ a large language model, either a public one by OpenAI, ChatGPT, or your own internal one to, for example, auto-classify your data, you know, to either from unstructured data like customer feedback posts from your social media network or from your, you know, customer support cases, to classify them. Is it negative, positive, categorize, you know, the topics that the complaint is about, and then use that in a more structured form in an analytics dashboard. Absolutely. Perfect example. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Matthias.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you want to say something because you moved forward? Okay, so
Yeah, you're the next speaker.
thank you, Matthias.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.